Welcome to our Sustainable House Day tour. I'm Josh, and together with my partner Hammer, we hope this virtual house tour provides you with some useful information. Our house is a semi-detached situated in Leichhardt, about 5 kilometres west of the Sydney CBD. The building is approximately 120 years old, which is fairly typical in this part of Sydney. As the title of our video suggests, the house was renovated to passive house standards. To meet this standard, the house interiors were completely refurbished, but no space was added. The floor plan was unaltered throughout the project. Renovating to passive house standards is difficult. In Australia, there is only one example of a renovation achieving certification for the passive house standard. Despite the challenges, our builder and passive house designer have done a marvellous job, and passive house certification for our project is underway. Further details about the project can be found in Sanctuary 61. The house we bought in 2019 was fairly typical of period homes in inner Sydney. It was very drafty, dark, damp, and very cold in winters. To make matters worse, the drafty nature of the house allowed a lot of noise inside, which was particularly problematic because the house is near the main flight path of Sydney Airport. In addition to sleeping with earplugs, in winters we would wear ski socks and beanies to bed. When we bought the house, we knew that one day we would renovate it. After living through the first winter, we reminisced about our time living through snowy German winters and how comfortable we were at home. Partly through seeing his work in Sanctuary magazine, we engaged Darren Parkinson of Eclipse Passive House to undertake the renovation. Darren and Passive House designer Scott Stewart of Lab Design undertook analysis and passive house modelling and determined that the house was a suitable candidate for renovation to NFIT standards. Insulation is a key feature in meeting the passive house building standard. Insulation was applied to all external walls, the ceiling and floor. Passive house modelling revealed that insulation was not required along the party wall with our neighbour. Earthwall bats were installed in the floor and ceiling. However, insulating the external wall was one of the more challenging aspects of the project. We ended up installing wood fibre panels to the inside face of the external walls. This resulted in our room shrinking by approximately 50 millimetres. However, this was too small a difference to be noticeable. An airtight building envelope is a fundamental component of the passive house standard. To achieve the NFIT standard, the house must achieve a blower door test result of no more than 1 air change per hour. Achieving an airtight membrane in an existing double brick home was probably the most challenging aspect of this renovation. The floors, walls and ceiling were made airtight using 3 different methods. The floor was sealed with yellow tongue particle board flooring and taped at the joints. Although only a small part of the building envelope, much attention and detailing had to be applied to sealing off the fireplace. The fireplace was made airtight by taping particle board to the interiors of the fireplace. The existing fireplace screen fits over the airtight treatment, although it now only serves as an ornamental piece. Throughout the ceiling, a vapour-permeable but airtight membrane was applied and taped to the existing lime plaster on the walls. The existing lime plaster was retained as the airtight layer for the external walls. All of our windows and doors are from Logic House. They are all double glazed and have numerous seals to ensure airtightness. As we live near the main flight path of Sydney Airport, we upgraded the glass to acoustic glass, which improved their noise reducing capability from 31 to 42 decibels. We both liked the look of timber windows, but saw firsthand the challenges of maintaining the timbered windows and doors that came with the original house. We decided on Logic House as they offered an aluminium-clad timber product that requires no maintenance while offering the timber aesthetic we find appealing. Like many terrace homes in inner Sydney, our house lacked natural light. We wanted to add skylights to the new house, but were concerned about the impact to achieving the airtightness criteria. We ended up with 3 Facro electric venting skylights that are triple sealed and allowed us to meet the airtightness standard. Although we didn't specify venting skylights, we have found the feature to be highly useful in summers to vent warm air in the evenings and early mornings. A fundamental component of a passive house is mechanical ventilation. Because of the airtight nature of the house, mechanical ventilation is necessary, but also one of the features of the house that we most enjoy. As air from the outside is poured into the house and pushed to all parts of the house, it is filtered and its temperature regulated through heat recovery. The photo in the centre depicts a filter after a few months of use, next to a new filter. The house also includes a dehumidifier tucked away in the ceiling above the bathroom. During the design phase, a dehumidifier was recommended to mitigate potential issues with moisture settling at the interface between the wood fibre panels and brick wall. The only active heating and cooling is provided by a small 2.5 kilowatt split system air conditioning unit. We've lived in the new house for 1 year now and can attest to the vast improvements to our comfort levels. I no longer have to wear beanies to bed in winter, nor earplugs. And instead of wearing 5 layers to bed, I only need to wear 2 in the coldest parts of winter. Traffic noise from the street is inaudible, and landing aircraft are just a light grumble in the background. The fresh air supply throughout the house continues to provide much comfort. We no longer have mold issues inside the house, and humidity is always within an ideal range. An added bonus is that the house is also cheap to operate. Since installing solar in June 2022, we have racked up approximately $100 in electricity bills over that 8-month period. This chart presents 1 year of indoor and outdoor temperature at our house. The blue line represents indoor temperature and shows that throughout the 12-month period, internal temperatures hover between 17 and 26 degrees without active heating or cooling. As mentioned earlier in the tour, our renovation took a lot of inspiration from Sanctuary and Renew magazines. And while we didn't quite become an all-electric home, we did replace the gas stovetop with an induction cooktop, and I'm very pleased that we made the switch. Because we didn't get to change the internal floor plan, we very much look forward to shaping the yard to our taste. We both enjoy cooking and wanted a space that could provide us with some food, but also serve as an extension to the rear living room. The final design by Steve Batley of Sydney Organic Gardens met our brief and more. The garden is now one of our favourite parts of the house and provides us with a relaxing outlook from the kitchen and living room. This is our first home and the first time we've undertaken a renovation project. Overall, we're delighted with the end result. Not having lived in a passive house before, we did not know what to expect. The final product far exceeds our expectations. We now love being at home year-round. Pre-renovation, I would dread leaving the warmth of the office to return to a bitterly cold house in winter. And now that we both work at home regularly, we value the healthy interiors even more. We hope you gained something from our virtual house tour. If you want to get in touch with questions, please don't hesitate to write to us.